One person I've known through the years not to turn, not to bend is Luke Rudkowski, the founder of WeAreChange.org. And, of course, Luke was detained this Saturday, just got out Sunday evening. Now, Anthony, why don't you tell us what happened to you and just break it down from the very beginning right before you get to the Hilton.
Before we get to the Hilton?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it was a normal Saturday. You know, we were at Ground Zero first. We did our little street action there. Everything was good there. We had planned to see Bloomberg from early in the week. We had it on our meetup. We went to Times Square for maybe a half hour. We left Times Square maybe 7:45. The event started at 8. It's about 10 blocks from Times Square. And, we were about 15 people going over there. Me, Luke, and Sabrina walked in first. There was about 4 of our guys scanning the building, a bunch of them outside with signs and stuff, and that's the point we got to the Hilton about a little before 8.
All right, so you get to the Hilton around 8. What leads to your arrest? Now, you are going up to the 3rd floor with Luke. You have a camera. I mean, where does it go to when someone approaches you and tells you that you're going to jail?
Yeah, well, me, Luke, and Sabrina were separated. We were, fanning out separately. We try not to be noticed as being together because then we get burnt even quicker. It was pretty much no more than 5 to 10 minutes very quickly after we were in there. I did a quick run around the building, checked out security, checked out the exits. I know what type of vans Bloomberg uses, so I looked around the tunnel that they have in the hotel to see if maybe his van was in there. Very quickly, I was... After I did my search, I went outside, and then as soon as I exited the building, I was inside for maybe, no more than 10 minutes. I see Sabrina, and she tells me, Luke is in handcuffs. My heart drops, and, I decide, let's go inside to look for him. I have no clue what's going on, nothing at this point. I lost communication with Luke after we entered the building, and so I go back inside the building myself, and no longer than, another 2-3 minutes, I get to the elevator bank, and I'm about to head up to the 3rd floor to, look around. And, this big, beefy, burly security guy from the Hilton comes up to me, and he's, points his finger at me, and he's like, "You stay there." And I was like, okay, I hadn't done anything wrong. There was, no reason for me to run at that point. The guy actually left me by the elevator bank for a good minute or two when I was out of his sight, and I could have ran away, but like I said, there's no reason for me to run. The guy comes back to me, stares at me, and I got the camera in my pocket at this point, and grabs me by the shoulder and takes me inside, a small security room. As soon as we get in there, I sit down, and I could tell by the look on these two guys that, they meant business. So I take the camera out of my pocket, I put the camera on my lap, I pointed up at the guy, and I start filming right away, and he became irate instantly. Yelling, screaming in my face, "This is hotel policy." There was 2 instances, which are on tape that they do have. I'm sure Luke explained that to you, where the guy came up to me, grabbed for the camera, and I went to move the camera out of my lap. And he's grabbing my lap, my arms, trying to restrain me, while he's standing over me. And, just yelling at me. The Bloomberg security guy was standing right next to him. They were kind of playing the good cop, bad cop role. The Bloomberg guy was just standing there, quiet. I'm trying to, cop a plea to him. This guy is grabbing me. You can't let him do this. And it was a horrible feeling. It was a horrible feeling to be in that room, feeling hopeless, feeling like you were being violated, and having no action, no course you could take, nothing you could do. Like, they just, to use a phrase that, they had you by the balls. And
yeah, they dictate.
It was a horrible feeling.
Obviously, what they say happened, no matter what happens, is the official report. So they put you in cuffs, they take you downtown. Do they let you see Luke? Do you guys go down in the same cop car?
Well, Luke got arrested maybe 5 minutes before we did. So he was there before before we got there. They took him to the precinct first. I don't believe he was in a room by himself. And yeah, they had us. We were together pretty much through the whole ordeal.
All right, Anthony, we're going to come back to Luke and Anthony of WeAreChange.org being detained for no purpose, really, other than to stop hard questions from being asked of Mayor Bloomberg, who's supposed to be taking care of the first responders that did so much for us on 9/11. We'll be back after this. It's the InfoWarrior with Jason Bermas, PrisonPlan.tv, Infowars.com. the Info Warrior with Jason Bermas. We are joined by Luke Rudkowski and Anthony of WeAreChange.org. Now, why don't you explain
Jason,
to people?
Can I get into the issues that happened before this? Because this is very critical to understand.
That's exactly what I was going to start talking about, Luke. I want to know what led up to this, and the fact that, Bloomberg has really just turned a cold shoulder towards the first responders. At one point, it did look like he was going to help them and made the major media, but once it was followed up on, he totally turned his back on them. Go ahead.
Exactly. I was actually filming for my new film, Truth to Power, during this whole thing, and even months before that, we confronted Mayor Bloomberg 5 times, all over his press conferences, even on his own radio show that he has here, where we called in and confronted him on why he's not supporting our Not 11 heroes. And he does not have a response. He does not have an answer to our questions. And his secretary actually reached out to first responder organizations that are helping out first responders. And he told them, if Luke Rudkowski and We Are Change keeps confronting, I'm not going to help you at all. If you let this kid, Luke Rudkowski, stop confronting me, I will support the James Droga bill, even though I didn't support it when it first came into Congress. We'll help out first responders. I will do the right thing. Now, what happened after that? I backed off, and first responders came to me, and they were like, Luke, just please stop. This is for the greater good, and if you stop confronting Mayor Bloomberg, he will actually help us. He promised us that he's going to help us and help support the James Droga bill and help pass it in Congress and help us out with fundraisers and all these other things that he promised them.
But what people don't understand is you can't make deals with devils. Continue.
That's what I said, and I was against it, but I didn't want to disrespect my first responder friends and people who I was very close with. So I respected what first responders came to me and said, and I left Bloomberg alone for months on months. And the man even walked by me a couple of times. I have video of Bloomberg just walking by me, and I had to be silent and quiet because I did not want to mess up the fact that he would maybe help out the first responders. Deep down, I knew he wasn't. I didn't want to disrespect the first responders in doing so. And now,
you had to give him that chance.
Reintroduced into Congress, and Mayor Bloomberg is opposed to it when he promised he was going to support it. A couple of days ago, Mayor Bloomberg cut over 5,000 workmen's compensation and benefits of first responders. So 5,000 sick first responders got their benefits cut by Bloomberg in the last couple of days. The first responders have came to me, and they're like, Luke, go get him. Luke, he screwed us over. He lied to us. He's not supporting the James Droga bill. He's not helping us out at all. He's cutting down even more pensions, more benefits for first responders. Luke, go get him. And that's what I was told by first responders. Go get him. You have to go nail this man. And that's when we started planning for it. And that's when he was doing an event at the Hilton Hotel, and that's when we came after him. And it was literally like they were preparing for it. They were waiting for it. And coming outside, I never saw as many police cars and police officers outside of an event with the mayor. He usually has a couple police officers, but this time it was just huge. They were everywhere, especially NYPD intelligence with their suits on and their slicked hair and their little earpieces. They were everywhere. And that's when they set us up, and that's when they lied right to their face. They lied in their testimony and their statements, which is illegal and is against the law. And now they're holding all the evidence and the footage at the police precinct. So this is another outrageous lie. So he lied to us the first time, and now he's lying again. His staff and his police intelligence officers and his own personal security guards are lying, saying that we were asked to leave when we were never asked to leave. I mean, I'm smart. I'm not stupid. If I'm asked to leave a private event, and if I don't leave it, I will be charged with trespassing. I was asked to leave many times during events with other people, and I left immediately because I know legally I could be held accountable for that. And this time I was not asked. I was detained. I was specifically watched and under the control of Mayor Bloomberg's security as they were getting police officers, as they lied, as they were saying that they were telling me to leave when they never told me to leave. So the man is a complete liar. And it's just ridiculous. I can't believe this is happening.
Well, Luke Rudkowski's mama didn't raise no fool, let me tell you, and she really did raise a brave young man, and I know that you would have left if you were told to leave. You know the rules of the game. You know what I mean? I mean, you're very smart. You hold the camera, you ask the questions, you bring the press passes. If you're asked to leave a private property, you leave that private property.